from the heart to all a very happy New Year. And let the new year be a year of prayer very much for one another on a daily basis, because you need it, and I especially need it. And thank you in advance. As I was thinking and praying about the gospel, it struck me that in 37 years now as a priest, 37 years, I've spoken about the star, I've spoken about the magi, the wise men, I've spoken about gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and I've spoken about Christ, the newborn King, as St. Matthew presents him, which is a different emphasis from that of St. Luke. I've preached about all of them many times, and they're very rich themes. But it struck me, never once have I preached about Herod. And Herod is pretty important in today's gospel. Someone who is an instrument of God's plan, very much against his will. And so this morning, we have only one point, because Herod is barely worth that. But we'll give him a slight bit of the attention that he does not richly deserve, particularly. Herod was an interesting sort. He was interested in one thing, his own power. He had no other interest whatsoever. And in order to keep his power, which he found threatened by this talk of a newborn king, a newborn Messiah, he was paranoid about his power. He goes to the chief priests. He doesn't usually go to the chief priests. He's a governor on behalf of Rome. But he'll do anything to keep power. We can remember another time when he went to the chief priests, when he wanted Jesus killed. Again, to preserve his own power. He goes to the chief priests, gets the message, he'll be born in Bethlehem, according to the scriptures, and then he sends the Magi to find Jesus, guided by the star, and he says, so that I may come and worship him. Now we know what Herod did in the slaughter of the holy innocents, which we celebrated just a few days ago. He didn't want to worship the baby Jesus, he wanted to kill him. And he ultimately succeeded when he collaborated with the Romans and Pilate to have Jesus crucified. But Herod wanted to kill him from the beginning. He was a slaughterer of innocent babies, even. He was that bad. And he was a liar. Go and find him, and come to me and bring me to him, so that I may worship him. All he wanted to do was kill him. Herod was power hungry. And one of the main tools of power is to tell manipulative lies. Get involved with anybody you have to. If it's the chief priests there, if it's the Magi there, lie and accomplish your own purpose, which is to hang on to power. Not unlike certain politicians in our own day and age, but I won't go into that. Power, lies, they go together. Herod wound up being ignored by the Magi as they returned home. And he wound up a complete failure in bringing about the death of Jesus because of the resurrection. The power and the lies of Herod with which that power was coupled failed in the end. The newborn Jesus came in powerlessness. He had no power at all, this newborn babe, from a human point of view. But the newborn babe was the truth made flesh. Real power is always bonded to truth, which always conquers in the end by its own gentle power. The power of Herod, based on lies, is always defeated and taken away in the end, because Jesus, the truth, has risen from the dead. Power and lies, powerlessness and truth, which is so powerful that it manifests itself through that powerlessness. And the Magi came from afar, and they worshiped the Lord, the one who was born so powerlessly, but who was the truth. And now we sing, even today, the first Sunday of a new year, Lord, every nation on earth will adore you. We're singing that 2,000 years later. And no one is singing any hymn of praise to Herod, that poor thing. Praise be Jesus Christ.